Good afternoon. I'm Todd Preston, the Director of Government Relations for the U.S. Global Leadership Coalition. We are very actively monitoring the floor of the United States Senate right now because they are in the midst of what is called a Vote-A-Rama, where they're going to be voting on dozens and dozens of amendments potentially going into the early hours of Saturday morning as they debate the fiscal year 2014 budget resolution. This is the first time in 4 years that the Senate has taken up a budget resolution, and so amendments of all shapes and sizes and types have been filed, about 600 in all. We here at the U.S. Global Leadership Coalition are particularly worried about some cutting amendments that have been filed by a few senators, including Rand Paul from Kentucky. One of those amendments would cut the international affairs budget by $15 billion, which would be about a 33% cut from current levels. Another one would withdraw the U.S. from the United Nations, and an amendment introduced by Senator Lee from Utah would phase out the Export-Import Bank, which is a key tool for tapping markets overseas and boosting American exports and job growth here in the U.S. So it's an interesting time. We've been mobilizing for days and actually preparing for weeks, so I feel good about that. We have all our state advisory councils across the country. We've been calling in to their senators, urging their opposition to these cutting amendments. It's a particularly vulnerable time because international affairs programs, development and diplomacy, have already been cut about 19% in the past 3 years, 19% since 2010. So any further cuts to these programs would really be very, very harmful at a time that there's so many challenges around the world, whether it's Syria or Mali, food security, things in Afghanistan, the list goes on and on and on, North Korea. So we appreciate everything you all have been doing. It's probably going to be a late night. We're going to keep highly caffeinated. And thanks again for everything you're doing to support the U.S. Global Leadership Coalition and development and diplomacy programs.